Let's talk Women Talk.
Only 26, Ruth Komati has already experienced more in life than most. Living with a bipolar disorder for more than a decade, she's not only thriving now, but has transformed what was once her personal struggles into a source of support for those who might be walking down the similar path in life. What keeps this young lady persevering through the fight?
When you were 15, there was an incident that happened. I think your brother had left. That kind of triggered something in you, right?
I think the main thing was the fact that when my brother left, I felt that I have to take care of my parents. Like the responsibility was felt on my shoulders. So when that dynamics changed, it started to make me wonder what is it that I'm doing with my life. And that worry, I think, sent me on a spiral. In the short period of time that I was in JC, every day when I woke up, I would just sit beside my bed and cry. But I couldn't find a trigger and I couldn't explain myself because it was just happening. When I was 17, I think when I went to the polyclinic, the doctor asked me something like, how do you cope with everything that's going on with you? And then I said something like, oh, I just think of how to end it all or something. I said something very flippantly. Then the doctor was telling my mom, I think your daughter is kind of going through a depressive phase. It helped in one way of me feeling relieved, but I think the second thing it did was it let me be who I was. I don't have to put in so much effort to look happy. Although I took it quite quickly because it was how I was feeling at that moment, but something was still a miss. I felt like, yeah, it kind of describes me, but not quite. So when I actually went to clinic the adult clinic, I actually started to ask them, I said I still don't feel well. I've been on 1 year of medications and therapy and still don't feel well. They realized that I had lapses in my stories. Maybe I talk about my day and I said, oh, the morning was very down. Then I thought, oh, the night was very down, but I don't say anything about the afternoon. So that's when the doctor started asking me, so how are you feeling in the afternoon? That all was fine then. So the doctor looked at me and said, how fine were you? Then they realized that I had high moments, but they noticed that something was amiss there. Feeling very happy is also not really the best idea for anybody.
Because it was kind of very extreme.
Yeah, but I didn't see it as extreme until it came to a point where I realized I was on top of a building thinking I can fly.
Oh dear.
I realized at that point of time that although I was feeling good, I wasn't safe anymore. Something was just not right. After my brother left, and when he returned, before he went back to Australia after his visit, I actually overdosed and I ended up in hospital for attempt suicide. I mean, as I look back at it now, I think it was just a way for me to cope. I think I just wanted to tell people I'm really struggling. They finally came to the fact that I had bipolar disorder. It was like an aha moment, right? Okay, now we know why you have been having mood swings, because you have a lack of this chemical. So initially I felt relieved, and then when it actually sunk in, I realized that okay, I'm in a pit now. I don't know what to do. I saw no way out.
And what did you decide to do after that?
I ran along with my psychiatrist. I still continued therapy, I continued medication. It was a lot of conflicting. At the hospital, they were telling me oh, I think some of these emotions are actually triggered by nothing. It's really chemical imbalance, and that's why you need the medications to balance that out. And then at home, they are telling me oh, it's because of how you are thinking. You should change the way. So I think when I started my journey, I was very incompliant with my medications. But I think after that, I realized how important it was, because I mean, that's part of the treatment, and if you don't want to follow the treatment, you say you're not getting better, it's not really of fairness.
What sort of reaction were you, maybe on hindsight, or maybe at that point in time, were you hoping to get from your friends and your family?
I think nobody really paid attention to what I was experiencing. And at that point of time, I think that's what I needed. I had so many things that I felt was not going well for me. I couldn't sustain my friendships. Wasn't nice to my mom. I slapped my mom when she tried to ask me how I was. Although it was a release of my emotions, after that it was a sinking in feeling that okay, what have I done? I think there was a turning point in the family because my mom realized she didn't know anything about what was going on. My dad realized that although he has to be the breadwinner, he realized that there's actually more that has to be done. It wasn't really so much about just providing for me, making sure I go to my doctors. So that's when my mom went for a caregiver course to better understand the condition. I always feel mental health issue is really, it weighs down everybody that's involved with that person. So as it was, I had my psychiatrist, my therapist, and me, but those were professionals, and they are not there with me once I leave the session. But the people who really face the impact of what I am, how I react, is really the people around me. It wasn't a one-man show.
So I know now that you're working in the industry. How are you using your experience to help other people?
Okay, so I actually am a peer specialist with Singapore Association for Mental Health. Major of my job is actually doing home visits. I think my personal struggles have helped me to have a deeper understanding of something that I think not a lot of people have a very deep understanding of. But I always have to constantly remind myself that my struggles are not their struggles, they're not the same. We may have the same condition, we may have similar symptoms, but the experience is still different. I mean, I've heard like people tell me, oh, so what if a person with mental health conditions want to be an astronaut? I mean, it sounds very out of the world. And they may never be an astronaut per se, but you don't have to shoot it down. Why is it that if you have mental health issues, you have no more dreams? It's not fair. I mean, all of us will have dreams and desires, and they may be different from the norm per se, but doesn't make it right or wrong.
What do you want to say to somebody who is potentially struggling or currently struggling with a mental health issue?
If you can realize that you as a person is not going to change. It's going to change certain things you do, but the core of you will never change. Your values are not going to change. You can choose to keep them. You can choose to be whoever you want to be. And you don't have to live for society. You don't have to prove people wrong here. It's about proving yourself right. And not hold that stigma that maybe people are holding to yourself. I think it's very important to realize that mental health conditions is just a condition. It's not who you are. It doesn't define you. That's why we always, I think in the mental health sector, we always say, we do not say a person is schizophrenic, a person is living with schizophrenia. I think it makes a big difference because a person is not schizophrenic, that's not who they are, that's not their identity.
What do you want to say to society in terms of how we can better support someone with a mental health issue?
It's that image of how people with mental health condition cannot take care of themselves, cannot do anything meaningful with their life. Like, you think that, oh, because they are depressed or they have a mental health condition, they cannot study anymore. I mean, I think I've proven to myself that that's not true. I mean, I'm finishing my master's in a year and I intend to continue studying after that. I don't think it's a matter of the condition, but it's really about what you do with it. And I think if society wants to be of any help to that, I think it's about learning and accepting that this is a journey that we have to walk together. It's not going to be easy, of course. I won't say I don't struggle. I struggle every day. But it's about what I do with that struggles and what I choose to do and what I choose to bring forward in my life. Because what is recovery? I mean, I think most people look at recovery as, okay, the person can go to work, can go to school, can live a normal life. But maybe the person is just happy being able to get up, watch TV, eat, go back to sleep. And that is the routine that they feel that is meaningful to them. So, are we basing what we believe a person should be and imposing that on them? Because that's not fair. We cannot define a person's recovery without what we feel is good for us.
So what is empowerment to you?
I think empowerment is really about being able to own what you want to do. And I think empowerment starts with yourself. If you cannot empower yourself, you cannot empower anybody.
Thank you. I must say that I've never had the opportunity to have such a great conversation about mental health. And I'm really very grateful, I think, to you for being so open and for sharing your story as well.
Ruth Komati's journey with her own mental health has become a story of both survival and inspiration. Her life proves that we should never let our struggles define us, and that no matter what we are going through, we should never forget to dream.